Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today we are reviewing and reacting to another slapped hand video called The Bizarre Clip Everyone is Trying to Explain. So let's see if we can maybe illuminate the situation and explain what is going on in these videos.
It is freaking creepy. 8:41, somebody knocks on the door.
On August 11th, 2025, a ring cam in the US may have captured one of the weirdest glitch in the Matrix sightings ever. At exactly 8:41 p.m, two missionaries walk up to Lizzie's porch. Both are dressed in matching pink outfits. But earlier, as they walk up to the house, they're wearing different clothes entirely.
Watch, go fast.
Right as soon as they
Right
get
there.
over there out
Yeah.
of our porch.
What the heck is this?
They're completely different, new colors, new patterns, even a whole new style.
Look out their outfits.
They're wearing two different dresses from what they
Yeah.
were wearing.
Is nothing compared to what they were wearing.
And we saw them. It had polka dots. It had the dresses from
Go
the...
back to the other one.
Lizzie was so startled, she didn't even open the door. She just watched the whole thing unfold through her ring feed.
They
And
said
then
they were
that's-
missionary, you know.
But missionaries don't come at 9 p.m. though. That's
I
not...
asked them, that, it's late. And they left. And they said, I'm sorry, not trying to be rude.
When she posted the clip online, viewers couldn't believe their eyes. Some swore it was evidence of a timeline slip, like reality itself had flickered and reset in front of the camera.
Check out their outfits.
They're wearing two different dresses from what they
Yeah.
were wearing.
Is nothing compared to what they were wearing.
And we saw them. It had polka dots. It had the dresses from
Go
the...
back to the other one.
Others argued it's less paranormal and more technical, maybe a digital compression glitch mixing frames from two different moments. Whatever the explanation, a simple knock at the door turned into one of the creepiest viral ring cam clips of the year.
That, it's late. And they left. And they said, I'm sorry, not trying to be rude.
Now, this one I don't believe is any sort of time slip, glitch, sleight of hand from these people who came up to their door. I believe this is more of that whole, y'all remember, I even mentioned it one time before in my one of the previous videos. Actually, it was part of the clip in it where there was the footprints by a child. It either looked like it was a regular footprint or it looked like kind of like a raised impression of a footprint on the sand. And the woman in the video clip actually mentioned this dress that people discussed like several years back, if it was a certain color or was it this color. I can't remember the exact colors and everything to it, but I feel like this is the type of situation that we're dealing with here. First off, the two ladies within this video they said that they did not open the door for these people because it's late at night, which is totally understandable. You never know nowadays. Somebody could be coming up, just could be a fake, coming up saying, oh, I need help, or can you point me in a certain direction, or in case in point with these people, have you found Jesus? And you open the door and then somebody comes up behind and knocks you out and robs you. I mean, unfortunately, that type of stuff does happen all over the world. So very smart on their behalf not to open the door, because it looks like they're kind of more of a outside, like suburban area that's kind of a little bit further away from other people, maybe almost to the verge of being rural. And I just always take precautions when you're opening your door. But I feel like this is more dealing with the lighting and everything like that, as opposed to them actually swapping clothes by the time they had done got there to the door. So let me know what y'all think. Y'all think it's about that, kind of similar to that whole dress thing that was a few years back that everybody was arguing about on the internet? And also, let me know what y'all think about people coming up. I mean, I understand people kind of, soliciting and loitering, this whole, I should say, soliciting thing. I mean, we have, where I'm living at currently, several of these type of people who come up to these ladies' doors. They're actually walking the street and everything like that too. But I've seen them 10, 11 o'clock at night, and they're asking people on the street these questions and everything. So, I mean, do y'all think it's right that they should be doing that? I mean, honestly, I just think that I don't care who you are. There's a time and a place for everything. And I think late at night, especially around 9 o'clock, is not a good time for people to come up into their house when everybody's relaxing, getting ready to bed down for the night because they got to get up early in the morning and things like that. So that part, I just, it kind of always weirds me out when they come up late and try knocking on your door very early in the morning too. I have problems with that. But you know what? That's besides the point. We were here talking about paranormal, and we were talking about them changing outfits magically. So you know what? Let's move on to the next one. I seriously, personally believe this was that whole situation like a few years back with people arguing about the dresses. Let me know in the comments if y'all think anything different. And like I said before, let's move on.
A strange object darts across the Malvern Hills sky. The clip was filmed by dog walker Andrew Clifton on August 5th, 2025 in Western England. When the footage hit Instagram, viewers were floored. Some called it undeniable proof of a UFO, technology far beyond anything we know. Skeptics, though, think it's less extraordinary. Maybe a drone banking hard, a bird walk by motion blur, or even a digital glitch amplified by slow-mo. So what do you think this strange object could be? Let me know your theories in the comments below.
Now, this one, of course, because everything is distorted by the slow motion that they added within this, so it looks a little bit stranger than what it is. Honestly, personally, I feel that maybe, because they're out in the park, he's throwing a frisbee to a dog. There could be other people in this area. I don't know, because honestly, it looked really kind of very, very kind of hilly and everything like that. And I'd be afraid to throw a frisbee in that type of area to a dog, just simply because I don't know how he would land and things like that. And I really love animals, and I wouldn't want to see them hurt. But anyway, I just feel like he captured something that's just a bit more mundane than a drone, or as nowhere near as fantastical as UFO in this situation, because that type of stuff is very, it's a lot more seldom than people think, and it's sometimes we might find a little bit easier of an explanation, especially if y'all live anywhere near Air Force bases and things like that. There's always new tech coming out and everything that they're constantly working on. Anyway, besides the point. But I honestly feel like maybe this was maybe an insect or a bird or something, and it was just based on how the slow motion did everything, and it kind of created, almost like he said, a motion blur, and so it distorted the image of what was actually there. You know how if y'all try to zoom in to a certain amount on a camera that's like like a surveillance camera and things like that, everything gets grainier and blurred, and you can't really see, like, say, the image of a face on a person or an animal. It all looks a little bit strange and real blurry. I feel like this is the case here with this one, and it was just that slow motion that really, really, really distorted it. So yeah, I don't think it was anything like a UFO. I don't even honestly think it's a drone. I think it's more on the kind of same spectrum as an animal kingdom. Same thing as what we and that dog was. What are y'all thinking? Let me know in the comments below, and we will move on.
A shadowy figure is seen on a Mexican security cam, and the way it moves has left viewers unsettled. The clip was recorded late at night on a grainy black and white feed. At first, it looks like a person or maybe an animal, but then you notice the movement. Some swear it's proof of an alien presence or even an interdimensional being slipping briefly into view. Whatever it was, the eerie way this figure glides across the screen has elevated a simple night vision recording into one of the internet's creepiest recent mysteries.
I don't know about y'all, but honestly, I didn't see where this subject of this video was actually gliding anywhere. I saw physically where it was picking up its legs. You could see the knees bending, and it was going across the screen. It was just walking. It was walking in the woods over there. Now, there is one thing. It does look a little awkward, but if any of y'all ever walked out in the woods in the middle of the night, you take a little bit more precautions with how you're walking and how you're stepping, because you could get caught up on logs, you can get caught up on branches, you can get caught up on basically anything. I mean, y'all got I know where I grew up, there was a lot of kudzu and things like that. You can get caught up in the brambles, everything. So you kind of high step it, and that's what this person literally looked like they were doing to me. They were high stepping. As for him saying it was a person or an animal, I'm sorry, but that was two-legged. I didn't see anything four-legged. I mean, only thing I know that's he said it was in Mexico. Only thing I know that walks on two legs in Mexico really is a human being. I ain't never seen or heard of any animals that walk on two legs over in Mexico. I mean, I know bears and stuff, they'll walk up on two legs every so often, but that shape and proportions was nowhere near a bear or anything. So that was very human-esque, if y'all agree with me. I mean, I really can't see where he would, or like Callan or anybody else could claim that this could be an animal. I mean, besides the fact that we are part of the animal kingdom, as I had mentioned previously. So, I mean, I'm really not seeing where this would be disturbing unless you out in the middle of nowhere and then all of a sudden you randomly seeing somebody walk across your property. Now, that would be a little bit more unsettling and everything like that, because you want to know who's trespassing. But this here, it just looks like somebody got caught up in, as he called it, and I quote, grainy footage, a grainy camera, because this was, it wasn't that great. I mean, I watched it a couple of times because they were talking about that mysteriously disappeared. No, it did not mysteriously disappear. It got mixed up into the copse of trees that were over there onto the right of the screen. And honestly, the dogs, they were acting pretty much how I would expect dogs to act when it's a human that ain't got no business being around this property. They're barking, they're alerting, but they're not doing anything out of the normal that I have seen with animals, like dogs, especially when it's something that's bigger or more of a predator, you know what I mean? So honestly, I just think that somebody got caught up in some poor quality camera footage. So I think that's pretty much it, and we got it covered. So let's move on to the next.
A lone figure stands motionless in the middle of the road, while cars drive right past as if nothing's wrong. The eerie clip posted to Instagram by Sideshy T shows the pedestrian locked in place.
What the f***? How many people don't give a f***? What is he doing?
Their posture is stiff. Their head doesn't move, not even a flinch as traffic passes by.
Really see the logic in it. Can't pause there, buddy!
With no clear context about where or when it was filmed, theories exploded online. Some called it an NPC glitch, proof that reality itself just stuttered. Others wondered if it was something more paranormal, some unseen force holding them in place.
Need to f***ing nip mine, bud sharpish, mate.
Skeptics, though, suggest simpler explanations. Maybe the person was dizzy, maybe just lost in thought. Some even point to video tricks like shutter speed quirks or a looping edit to exaggerate the effect. Whatever the cause, the clip has convinced plenty of viewers they've just seen a real-life glitch in the Matrix.
What is he doing?
Honestly, if I seen somebody standing there like a lump on a log in the middle of the road, basically, I would probably go and check and see what's wrong with them. That, or I would have contact local authorities just to, because this person's a danger to themselves and others. Because as y'all saw, there is a car coming and they honk the horn. And then I'm about to get into what I really think this is once I say what I'm going to say. But, that car came, honked the horn, and the person still didn't move. And they had to actually kind of almost look like they almost went up on the sidewalk to bypass this person. Now, I don't care what you own, but if you were out in the middle of the road doing that, and was in that type of mode, because I have seen people being on substances and kind of pose like that before. I'm sorry though, but if you were on this type of stuff, you still would have flinched, but it would have been a delayed flinch. There was still had been movement. So what I'm really, really thinking this could be here is a mannequin. Because for either, unless it's the looping like they were talking about, and you had like where I showed y'all previously, where you can actually kind of set up stuff and superimpose during editing processes in the video, a person just standing there, that's one thing. But you wouldn't have had that whole, the vehicle coming up, honking the horn, and then like bypassing it. I think because that person stayed just long enough to notice that possibly wasn't a real person. So I'm more than likely thinking these two gentlemen who have created this video and said that this person is disconnected and has, the little laughing emojis on it, they set up a whole little thing that they wanted to do and just set it up and put a mannequin out there in the middle of the road and filmed it like it was a real person and everything. But you know what? Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all really think it's a glitch in reality? Which I seriously am doubting something like that, because if whole reality itself stuttered like they said, then the vehicles would have stuttered. There would have been some different strangeness, because everything was normal with the exception of the one person just sitting in the middle of the road or standing in the middle of the road. So I'm leaning more towards mannequin or somebody on something. let me know in the comments below what y'all think. Mannequin or somebody owns something, and that these people should actually contact the local authorities as opposed to sitting there filming and giggling about it. So let me know, like I said, and we'll move on to the next.
Here's a strange little clip recently shared to Instagram by Ali Al-Touli 878. The video begins with a close-up shot of a man quietly sitting beside a fire. At first glance, nothing seems unusual. But as the camera slowly zooms out, the unsettling detail becomes clear. The man is perched on a steep rocky cliff face high up a mountainside. The spot looks nearly impossible to reach, remote and treacherous, with no obvious path leading in or out. Viewers are left asking the same questions. How did he get up there, and why light a fire in such a dangerous and secluded spot? Adding a touch of humour to the mystery, one commenter pointed out that even in such solitude, the man is still glued to his phone, scrolling away as though nothing were out of the ordinary.
This one's a bit strange, but it's strange in a sense that the person is basically halfway up a cliffside, and they got a little campfire set up, and they have something in their hand. They talked about it being a phone, but at that distance, even with that nice quality of zoom in, I seriously doubt it was a phone, because you got a problem if you got that good of a reception, and that's the only way you can get a really good reception. So I mean, that was kind of a precarious spot to sit there and just scroll on your phone. So I think maybe this person just, goes and decides they're going to have a day to get away from everything. Maybe it's his day off or something like that. And he decided to, he's a person who likes the outdoors, likes to hike and things like that. He just decided to climb up there and spend some quality time in nature. I mean, it's kind of like I say, it's kind of strange, and there are no cliff facings to have like where he would be, like, say, maybe having a camp out over there because maybe he doesn't have the means to have a home or anything like that. So, I think it is a little bit strange, but it even could be what I just mentioned before. So, could be a person living up there for all we know. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Y'all think he's kind of, it is a little crazy. So, you think that he should be doing something like that, especially if it is a phone? Come on, that'd be a little strange. Playing on a phone all the way halfway up a mountain. But to each his own, right? Let's move on.
We just heard a loud crash.
Some truly bizarre footage comes from Instagram user That Girl Christina, who discovered something extraordinary one night inside her own home.
So we just heard a loud crash.
When she heads outside to inspect, the sight is even stranger.
Someone threw a tree at our house?
The tree isn't lying across the roof as you'd expect after a fall. Instead, it's skewered vertically into the house, the trunk shooting upward into the night sky at an impossible angle, almost as if it had been hurled like a giant spear.
And this is the lower roof that the tree fell into.
Christina, rather than panicking, laughs at the absurdity of the scene. She jokingly names it the fairy tree because the pink insulation is wrapped around the middle of the trunk, making it look like the tree is wearing a tutu.
The pink insulation, it's giving fairy. She's beautiful.
Whether it's a freak accident, a trick of perspective, or something stranger altogether, the bizarre image of a tree spearing through a rooftop has quickly become one of the most surreal, viral clips of the year.
That's a whole tree.
Someone threw a tree at our house?
I honestly would not be that carefree and lighthearted if that happened to me. But then again, there are people who go through extreme weather situations, and sometimes destruction like that is, just kind of is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and they just start laughing and everything. Judging by how big that that tree I can't even call it a branch, because I have seen large pieces of branches and things like that go flying in storms and everything as a child, but you kind of almost don't want to call it a branch. It's a tree. It's a big old piece of the tree. And it seems to me that they did not evacuate during a storm, and because judging by the other parts of the debris on top of the, that first little roof over there that's on that first floor, covering probably a porch or something. But it also looked like it was part of the house anyway, because it looked like it went through like the laundry room and everything. It could have been people in the Midwest call mudroom. Growing up, I always called it the utility room. That's we had the washer, the dryer, and a big old deep freezer in there. So, and working on a farm and everything, that's where you had to go and make sure you take your shoes off, pretty much like strip down with your clothes and everything, because everything will be absolutely filthy, and you didn't want to track it in the house. So and it looks like it went through the utility room and everything, and it might have been kind of more of a jut out from the house and everything. So it seems like they kind of probably rode out the storm, because there's a lot of people who will evacuate areas when major storms will come through, and when they come home, it's absolutely devastating, and because of the damages it's caused. So I feel like they kind of rode out the storm and were just more so happy to be alive and kicking, or they came home from something and they found this, and just the whole absurdity of it all kind of caused them to crack, I guess, a little bit. Because if it was me, I surely wouldn't be making light of the situation and how much damages it caused. As for it being a fairy tree, well, the insulation too looked very, very nice for it. So, if y'all want to add something with this one, leave it in the comments below, and we'll move on to the next.
A shocking clip circulating on Instagram captures a terrifying moment.
No, this is literally you driving. It's freaking out right now. How do you think? Yeah. Should I move my car? Yeah. Are you okay?
Then, without warning, the vehicle smashes through the glass entrance, sending shelves, cans, and debris flying in every direction. As the dust settles, a young girl climbs out of the driver's seat, visibly shaken. Though details about the driver remain uncertain, the incident has sparked debate about safety, responsibility, and just how quickly a moment of distraction or inexperience can spiral into disaster. While many online found dark humour in the dramatic footage, others pointed out how lucky it was that no one inside the store was seriously injured.
Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all at all. First thing I done thought when I saw that car moving erratically like that, I thought, oh dear God, who done let that child drive to the grocery store? That was honestly the first thing that was the first thought that just popped into my head, because it was just, it looked like a child would be doing that. I mean, yeah, sure, you do have people who are under the influence of, like maybe alcohol or something like that, and they drive erratically and, have situations like this. But first thought that came into my head was a child. And then lo and behold, as soon as the door opens, it's a little girl that's there. Now, I thought it was going to be a little boy, but honestly, hey, you know what? When I was a kid, I'll be honest, I probably started driving around the farm when I was about 8 years old. So, you know what? It checks out that she that she was there and right behind the steering wheel. Oh my goodness. I know, I could just imagine, especially if it was during the time that when I grew up, and because when I grew up, it was more like started school and everything. It was late 80s, early 90s. So I can just imagine being that little girl's age, and I had did something like that. I don't think I'd have been able to sit for about 2 weeks. Let's just hope that their parents have some good insurance for that one. And let's move on to the next one.
Something massive is crawling along the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, and Google Earth may have caught it. An unsettling anomaly highlighted by the Instagram account Conspiracy Theories has online sleuths buzzing. At these coordinates in the northern Pacific, the imagery shows what appears to be a massive 2-mile-wide dome on the seafloor. But what makes this truly bizarre is the object doesn't appear to be stationary. It seems to be crawling across the ocean floor, leaving a distinct snake-like trail behind it. The discovery has fueled intense speculation, with theories ranging from a hidden underwater base to some kind of colossal, undiscovered organism. However, experts often attribute anomalies like this to digital mapping artifacts. Plausible explanations include stitching errors where map images are joined, or even tracks left by bathymetric survey ships scanning the ocean floor. Without an official analysis of the data, the image remains one of Google Earth's most intriguing deep-sea mysteries.
Now, this, particular thing is interesting and everything. People use Google Maps and they'll go in different places, just and you see, odd things here and there, and you get to just have a bird's eye view of everything. So I always find these interesting and everything. And honestly, a lot of them have, they've helped solve crimes too. So, Google Maps, sometimes it feel like it kind of invades the personal space, but then again, like I said, it's helped solve crimes, so I'm kind of for that. So anyway, it's just this one is, I like this because they were talking about how there was something massive crawling, and it was like, of course, came from the Instagram page Conspiracy Theories. So, it's always interesting to look into this type of thing. I don't know what their video is on this and what their conspiracy is exactly for this, but it can be easily explained scientifically what this is. I mean, y'all have heard of the shifting rocks and out in the desert, they'll actually move and they'll travel very long distances. And these aren't, pebbles by any means. Some of them are very, very just hefty boulders. That's the best term for it. It's not even rocks, it's boulders. And, just with the wind currents and just how fine textured sand is, these boulders can just sail across the desert. And it's always impressive to see that. And also it kind of has in some effects that kind of serpentine motion. Sure, there's times where it's going pretty much in a straight path, but then you have crosswinds, and it'll create like a serpentine motion with these boulders out in the desert, and it creates kind of bizarre imagery, much like what we're seeing here. And you're probably wondering why I'm talking about the desert when we're looking in the ocean. It's because one simple thing: we got wind currents on land. The ocean has water currents. And you factor in how fine grained the texture of the silt on the bottom of the ocean will be, and you can just equate it to the deserts. And if the wind currents can move boulders, water currents can do the same thing, and it will create these types of patterns that we're seeing on the screen in this video clip. And just simply put, that's all this is. There's nothing much of a conspiracy except what would be a 2-mile in diameter dome. I mean, was it a piece of a ship that's just somehow floating around? Or is it just the dome? It could be just a rock or a boulder, and it just seems like a dome from the aerial video. I mean, what do y'all think? I mean, what could be something that would be a 2-mile dome out in the middle of the water besides, piece of good grief, that would have been a huge ass ship. Anyway, but sorry, only thing I can really think of now that I actually thought about it a little bit more while speaking it out, I mean, the only thing I can think of is a boulder. I mean, leave it in the comments below what y'all probably think might be. It's more than likely a boulder, but I'm just still trying to wrap my head around that diameter they were talking about. But I will say this was the last clip of this video, and I hope y'all enjoyed the whole video. If you did, like it, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so if you enjoyed it, because I try to put up as many of these videos as I possibly can. I mean, I'll let y'all know I do believe in the paranormal, but I just have a healthy bit of skepticism, especially in the technology that we have today in our world. So, I've already said this several times in some of my videos, but, some of y'all might be new and just wanted to let y'all know what this is all about. I hope y'all enjoy it, and I'll see y'all again.